Hi everyone. I kind of do these videos when I feel spiritually inclined or when I get a message that I should do them. So earlier today I got a message about doing a quick video about energy vamp or energy vampires and cord cutting. So what is an energy vampire? Well, you ever talk to someone or try to give them advice or they say something to you and it's like their very words or presence or just involvement in your life is like, oh my god, you're just so draining. Like, I feel like every time I'm around you, you just totally bring me down. You always ask for advice and you never take it. And or people where they don't just bring you down, but they literally feel like they're sucking the energy out of you, and you think that it's just because they're a Debbie Downer, but guess what, they're probably an energy vampire. Now the thing about energy vampires is 8 to 9 times out of 10 people that don't know that they are. And I'm just coming from the gym too, guys, so if I look a little crazy, besides the bunny ears, that's why. I like doing filters, like I mentioned in the other video, to kind of lighten the mood if it seems like it's getting a little too intense. So anyway, so energy vampires can also be toxic people. Are they interchangeable? Not always. Sometimes toxic people it's a little bit more intense. Energy vampires can be as simple as a conversation, a phone call, a text. Any connection whatsoever with that person makes you just feel drained, or when you're not around that person, you can't stop thinking about them. And I don't mean like the lovey-dovey, oh my god, he's so awesome, can't stop thinking about him. I mean the, oh my god, I just don't want to think about their issues anymore. I don't want to think about their problems. Like, why do they keep popping up in my head? Like, I don't want to think about them. That is also the result of an energy vampire, kind of just leaving their ick on you. Do people stay energy vampires for life? No. So if you happen to be one and you notice people are kind of shying away from you because you seem like they don't want to help you with your problems anymore, or they don't want to listen to you vent, you might be an energy vampire. Not that those things are bad, but if you are relying heavily emotionally on someone, you are energetically, literally sucking the energy out of them in hopes of resolving your issues. And again, this happens on a very spiritual level, so a lot of people are not aware. Well, so with energy vampires, it can be family, it can be friends, it can be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, anyone. Honestly, kids. I mean, anyone, not likely to be kids, but you know, like these days, you might get a couple teenagers that are just a bit much with their issues. But again, having issues does not make you an energy vampire. It's sort of like leeching, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, off of people. And you may not be aware that you're doing this. But if you're super dependent on somebody making you happy, that's a clue that you may be an energy vampire, honestly. If it's like, oh my goodness, if they don't text me back, I'm just going to have the worst date ever, you might be an energy vampire. Things of that sort contribute to being an energy vampire. Now, toxic people, they kind of stick to you. And people that are psychic may know what I'm talking about when I say stick to you. It's not just the consistent thoughts. It's not the draining conversations. And it's not just when you have that connection, you're like, oh, you know, I was having a good day, but now I don't know where my energy went after that conversation. Those are your energy vamps. But it feels 10 times worse when it's a toxic person. Like, they don't even have to say anything to you, and just being in the same room gives you all those symptoms. So, how do you deal with people like that? How do you deal with it if you are the person like that? Well, I'll tell you, cord cutting is one, and there are different ways to do it depending on your spiritual beliefs. So cord cutting, every single person that you interact with, there's a cord. Whether it's the guy you flipped off when you're driving, whether it's the random person at the grocery store that you say hello to, every person that you interact with, you create an energetic cord. Now, at the end of the day, if you work with a lot of people, you're a nurse, you're a teacher, you're someone that has a lot of interactions with a lot of people, it's important to cut cords frequently. If you're a counselor, a therapist, anything of that sort, you deal with a lot of heavy caseloads as a lawyer, whatever it may be. But you deal with a lot of people. It's good to do it frequently. Now, the number one question I get is, oh my goodness, if I cut the cords with that person, like I still love them, I love my family member, I love my spouse, I love my boyfriend, girlfriend, does that mean that they'll never talk to me again? No, it does not mean that. It means that the attachment, the unhealthy attachment at that, will be eliminated. So people that it's not possible to cut cords with, I won't say never, okay, never say never. The people that it's difficult to cut cords with are your soulmates, your karmic mates, people that you still want the attachment with. You'd be surprised of the people that go, oh, I don't want to deal with them anymore. But on the inside, there's an unhealthy attachment to the pain that they're getting out of the relationship, or the you'll find that a lot of people will sacrifice their own happiness for the sake of others. It kind of makes you know more, like in the sense of, if you're staying in an unhealthy relationship because your partner says that they will hurt themselves or they just can't live without you, that's pretty unhealthy. You're probably dealing with an energy vampire. Hopefully you guys seek counseling and professional help. But in a sense of energetically, you need to cut cords. How do you cut cords? Well, the simple way, if you believe in angels, you can ask Archangel Michael to use his flaming sword to cut the cord of the person, and you say their name. Say, Michael, can you please cut the cord of Joe Schmo? I like to add on to that request, and please use your shield to keep it from reattaching. So that makes sure, that helps me to not keep unhealthy attachments. If it's a healthy attachment, it's not going to, there is no cutting. That's like a bond. That's love. That's things like that. Those don't get cut. You can, but I haven't really tried it. I don't know anybody that has. But if you're not into angels and you're not so spiritual in the sense of that realm, but you're more spiritual in the sense of energy realm, then what you can do is do a meditation. Don't have to be in like a deep state or anything like that. Just go into meditation where you are focused on your intention of cutting the cord with the person. Some people like to picture themselves on a bridge where the person is on one side and you're on the other. You walk up towards each other and you're like, oh man, here you are. I have to cut cords with you. Say all the things either out loud or in your imagination that you've always wanted to say to the person that you're cutting cords with. You want a sense of closure. That's what you're aiming for. And sometimes it'll take a couple times to get it. But once you get it, there is a sense of relief, which I'll get to. So you're like, thank you for being in my life. Thank you for all the lessons I've learned. Because you don't want to end it with like a resentment, like, F you, don't ever speak to me again. You're a horrible person, go away. Like, you could, but you don't want to end it with negative feelings. You want to release it. Whereas when you have negative feelings, you're kind of picking it back up. So you're like, okay, thank you for being in my life. Lessons learned. I wish you all the best. I love you, but this has got to end. I love me more. Blah, 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 blah. And you can picture that person having a response to that person going, totally understandable. Whatever helps you release it. And then picture either golden scissors or whatever you want to do. This is another option. Golden scissors, and you're cutting a cord. And picture the cord on you healing so that the attachment doesn't reattach. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, Google's a wealth of information. So you have the option of Michael doing it for you, Archangel Michael, to cut the cords between you and so-and-so. Or you can actually also cut cords with situations. If you find yourself thinking about work when you go home, Michael, can you please cut the cord between me and my job? Whatever that may be. Or if you find yourself stuck with a problem, Michael, please cut the cord between me and the issue that I'm having with finances or my car or any of those things. Or you can do the same thing, even though I don't think you would talk to your car like, I'm sick of you, you should just probably go away, and then cut cords. I mean, you could. It's really about you. It's about what it takes for you to release. But again, picture that cord to the problem, to the place, to wherever, and snip, snip, snip with golden scissors, or ask Mike to with a sword, or do like the talk on the bridge and you go your separate ways. Whatever works for you. It's about helping you to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually release the situation. Does it take several times? Yes, it does. I've had to cut cords multiple times with multiple situations over and over again until it finally just went away. Now, how do you know you cut cords? Well, you usually feel lighter afterwards. You feel like you've really put it behind you. It's not draining anymore. You're not constantly thinking about that person or situation. Your energy levels increase. Your appetite comes back. Like, life starts to come back into you. It's literally, if you picture like a tube, and somebody's like, I'm siphoning all of this energy from you. And sometimes you don't even know it. There are people that are like, why can't I release my ex when they do a reading with me? And it's like, well, you should probably cut cords too. But I mean, and there will be a pull. I will be honest that sometimes if the other person is intentional enough, or if you still have remnants left of emotion or attachment, sometimes there's a feeling that I call the pull that happens. And the pull happens where you feel like you want to reach out to that person. It's usually the strongest in the first 3 days after cutting cords. I don't know why that's the case, why 3 is always the magic number, but it is. Within the first 3 days of cutting cords, if there's a strong enough, if this is a long-standing attachment, I mean years in the making, or a very intense one, sometimes over the 3 days I will continue to cut cords. And you'll find that there really is a sense of relief. One day you'll realize, you know, I just realized it's been like a week since I even thought about that person or that situation or that happening. So, cord cutting, I recommend to so many people. I do it on a daily basis. I do it with family, friends, everyone, because it's about unhealthy attachments. And those unhealthy attachments occur very frequently with energy vampires, toxic people, people that are just, it's literally the phrase, you suck the life out of me. That's what they're talking about. You are sucking the life out of them. And frankly, if somebody said that to me, all right, bye. So, I don't know. Each situation is individualized, but it's good for your health, because energy vampires and toxic people can actually make you physically sick. You might get sick to your stomach. You'll get migraines. You will have a loss of appetite. It is not just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not occurring, or over distance. You're like, well, the person lives only in California now. How can this happen? Distance does not matter. Okay? Same with any spirit, with any spiritual realm, there's no such thing as distance, there's no such thing as time. So if it's been 12 years since you've seen that person, but you're still having all these issues with that connection, still cut cords. It still makes a difference. And it's a practice that I've been doing for years because it's been proven effective time and time again. And I've seen it proven effective for people that are looking to cut toxic relationships, part ways, have a fresh start with different things, situations, jobs, all those things like that. So again, I was inclined to come on here to talk about energy vampires, a little bit about toxic people, because they kind of fall in that category as well, and cord cutting, because in this time, see how it all comes together, in this time that we're all making major decisions in November, it means something has to get left behind. Either it's a person, place, thing, object, location, job, whatever it is, things are being left behind, which means that you should probably cut cords because you want a fresh start. Now, there is a chance, this is another disclaimer, there is a chance that when you cut cords with certain people, they will reach out to you. You might go, oh good, I'm going to cut cords with him because that means he's going to text me now. He might, but is that really the kind of relationship that you want, where whenever you get attention, it's because you've cut some spiritual cords? I'm not judging, I'm just saying. So those are also factors to consider, but this was the basics of basics. If anyone has any more questions, as usual, you are free to email me, holistichahangout@gmail.com, or you can message me on Facebook. I always try to write back as soon as I'm available, or post on the wall. You know, it's definitely open for people to share and share alike. It's important to kind of build that community so that people have an understanding of what's going on in their lives and all that. And I hope that this also helped take the mind off the storm for whoever's in the area, Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville, all those places. And I hope you all are staying safe. I know this is late as usual. It's the only time I could do it. But you can watch it anytime. It works out. So anyway, yes, big month still coming up. Cord cutting, very important. Letting people go with love. Without attachment, with being detached from specific outcomes so that we can let God, the universe, spirit guides, whoever you are looking to give them room to manifest. Really letting go of all those things so that the best can be really brought about, instead of us trying to control everything in the cookie jar. Get your hands out the cookie jar. Let the cookies be handed to you on a silver plate. Silver platter, one of those. Anyway. Bye guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, comment, and share. I love you all so much, and I hope that you have found some use in this. I talk really fast. I'm sorry if I grazed over something really quickly. If you have any questions, I can always come back and do another video. Alright, bye!